I hope you're doing great today and yesterday and tomorrow. So I wanted to share a story with you. So yesterday and last night and this morning, I was spending some time with some friends of mine, and they brought their niece, and she's 11 years old, and her name is Cherish, like you cherish something. So her name is Cherish, and she, they had come down where I live to do a big Bible camp and different things. So she is, I guess, involved, with their church and that type of stuff. And their Hmong, not that matters, but it's just such a fun time to spend with them, and they're so fun. But anyway, she was asking me questions, and not just me. I was with her aunt, my bestie. But anyway, she has such a curiosity, and I love that. And when kids genuinely, and they don't have any motives, they're not trying to discredit you or the Bible or whatever. They just really want to know. So she was asking questions, and we were trying to, we were explaining to her different stuff. But one of the topics this morning, here we are in the hotel. We just woke up. It was like 8:30 if that. And we were going downstairs for the complimentary breakfast. And we're going in the elevator, and the whole time she's just talking and she's asking me all these questions. It was so great. But she said, "Oh, I have another question. So what about, in the beginning with Adam and Eve, right?" She was like, "Well, I know that Eve ate the apple, because it says she ate the apple, but the whole idea of the story is about how humans, trying to think how she put it, the nature." I might change it a little bit because I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was like the nature of humans and how sin began, or it wasn't about how sin began really. It was more like how people are drawn to that, or the nature of people and whatever. And I was like, well, first of all, the Bible never says an apple. It says a fruit. So it wasn't, it doesn't say she bit the apple. It says she ate the fruit of the tree. And we talked about that and the original word, and how the fruit actually, when you look at the word itself, it's more like, it's not a banana, but it's a fruit that's very similar in appearance to more of a banana. And I said, you can look it up and see a picture of what that particular type of tree looked like, and this and that. And I was like, well, I said, when you read it, there's Adam tried to blame Eve, and she was like, oh. And I said, Eve was deceived. She was lied to. But Adam did wrong. He sinned, and he tried to blame Eve for it. And she was like, oh. So talking to you, a lot of people don't realize that. It's not just about, the woman ate of the fruit and she was cursed, and now a woman brought all this blah, blah, blah. And she said, it was a snake, because it said it was a snake that came and lied to you. And I said, no, it says serpent. It never says snake. I said, but, it goes on to describe how the serpent was cursed to move around on its belly, from then forward and things. So it fits the idea of a snake, and that fits. And I said, well, I said it's more to show you how manipulative, how Satan can trick you. He can make something seem, God don't want you to eat this fruit because he knows you'll become like a god. You'll become as gods, and he doesn't want that. And he wants to keep you from this tree so you don't know any better and all that crap. And Eve believed Satan. She believed him. She believed. She got in her mind, and she's like, that sounds about right. That sounds right. So she did it. But Adam knew better. Adam knew what God told him. And when they got busted, and if as soon as they ate of the tree, they realized things that they didn't realize before. It opened up their mind. It opened their knowledge. And they knew that oh my God, we naked. They didn't know that before. But because it was such an innocence, that it was their bodies. And there was just them. Who they gonna hide from? Well, but except God and okay, whatever. But it's still an innocence. Satan took their innocence. But so they took what they had, leaves or whatever, and they cover up. And it says that they heard the voice of God walking through the garden. So what they did in disobedience separated them from God. He's looking for them. His voice moves through the garden. So Satan can come to you and he sounds so good. I will give you this and you'll have this. And God doesn't want you to do this and that because God only cares about himself and he's so selfish, but not me. I got kicked out of the kingdom because I was a free thinker and I was independent and I wasn't going to let him boss me around. I was going to be my own person. And so can you, if you do this, you ain't got to listen to God. You can do whatever you want and I'll help you along and I'll give you a lot of money. People will love you and all this other stuff. So you get in there and you're like, oh crap. Well, dang, it ain't quite like he said it was going to be. And that's how it is. But if they had listened to God in the first place, give me a paradise where I could walk around naked and eat other fruit. They had all these other trees. You had to eat that. You had to eat the one he told you not to eat. Because that's just how we are. But, honey, give me a bunch of animals. You give me a bunch of animals. Stuff walking around. I can pet cats. And ride rhinoceroses. I don't want the tree. You keep that tree. I don't want to know I'm naked. I just want to be happy. But sometimes we don't realize. That's the thing. You don't realize what you have until you have something different. And you lose what you started with. And then you look back. Hindsight is 20/20. Yeah. You're like, man, I had it made. I had all this. And look what I just had to do this. And now look. Now, sometimes though when we do that, maybe not in their case so much, but sometimes when we do things that maybe we shouldn't do and it leads us somewhere else and it's kind of crappy and we're like, oh God, what? what did I do? That's when you say, alright, I screwed up, I didn't listen, or I thought I was listening, I went the wrong way. You just stay with God. Just stay with Him and be like, man, Lord, I messed up. I did this. I know. Oh, I bet you was telling me to do this, or I know you told me to do this, or I didn't hear you, so I did what I wanted to do, or what I thought I should do, or whatever. And now here I am, and I'm stuck. Help! That's the key right there. Keep an open communication with God. That when you need Him and you need to talk to Him, you don't feel guilty. You don't feel bad. And we'll do this. We'll get caught up in our lives. We don't need Him, and we don't talk to Him. Or we do something naughty, and we're like, I can't talk to Him right now because I know what I did. Just keep a relationship with Him. So He's your overseer. He is your protection. He can change things. I've made videos about that, where even I remember one I did on the court document. Man, that name was not there. I saw that name, and then that name wasn't there, and I was like, I don't even know these people. I know that thing said Judge Cook, and then it didn't. God can do some things. Ooh, don't underestimate Him. But she, cherish, man, her innocence, and she had all kind of. When Cain and Abel, and it says that the different people had kids. If they were the only people, who did they have the kids with? She is just going all up in this stuff, man. And it was so great. And, she's 11. She'll talk you to death. But she just, and you'd answer her, and then she'd think for a little while, and then she'd be like, I have another question. And it just, man, that is like a delight. And another thing, stay in the scripture, because I was like, sometimes you think about a story that's in the Bible and you want to talk about it or teach about it, and you're like, wait, okay, this happened and then this happened, but why did this happen? I forgot. Stay in that book, because it's so much stuff, man. You're not gonna know everything ever. You're not gonna remember everything ever. You just have to. That's the power of that book, the Bible, is the more you read it, the more you read the same stuff even, you're like, I didn't see that before. I didn't understand that before. I don't remember it. What? And then you read it and you're like, dang, I read this like 10 times. I didn't see this. And that's just how that book is. You don't read it from cover to cover and be like, well, I read the Bible. No, you don't read the Bible. You study it. You study it back and forth, and you pray. And, sometimes God will enlighten you to things that you didn't understand before. It went right over your head. He'll do that. But there's a scripture that says, to be like a child, to be childlike. And what it's saying is, like, her innocent curiosity, that's how we are to be. Don't lose that. Don't lose that. Man, I'm 51 years old, and we were at the zoo yesterday, and I love going to the zoo. And every time I go to the zoo, or even when I watch stuff on TV, even when I see like little bugs and stuff, I always think, the imagination of God is so far beyond comparison to anything. And when He created all of these creatures, big and small, nobody gave Him any ideas. He didn't have somebody saying, it would be cool if you would put stripes on this one and give this one 4 legs, give this one 2 legs, and you could do this and that. He just did it by himself. He didn't need nobody. That is just amazing to me, and it's beautiful to me. And I go in there like I'm 10 years old, like, I don't know. It's a great thing. Whenever you go anywhere, whatever you're doing in your life, when you look up at the clouds, when you look at the grass, to live every day knowing that the same entity that created all these things thought about you, thought about what he wanted you to look like and what he wanted you to be and your personality. The same time and effort that he put into a koala bear and a lizard and whatever else, he put the same thought and care into you. Honey, Satan wants you dead. Like, he don't want you dead. He wants you dead. Why do we give him the time of day? He don't deserve anything. None. But God deserves everything. And we need to keep him in the midst of every single thing we do. Everything. There's a story in the Bible where this lady, she had a son, and they were kicked out of their home, and they ended up in the wilderness, and the child was dying. Like, he was dying in her arms. They were dehydrated and they didn't have anything, and she cried out and she spoke to the God that oversaw her people. She knew him, and she said, help me, he's gonna die. And from nowhere there was a well of water, and she sees it, and it saved their lives. I've said this in videos before. God will bring something when there's nothing. You just have to tell him that you need it. You just gotta talk to him. Talk to him. Is he gonna bring exactly what you need every time in 5 minutes? Nope. It don't matter. Keep talking to him. Keep believing him. Keep trusting him. I'm gonna end saying this, and some people hate this. Those Christians, they always use this excuse, and they always talk about, the worst things happen, and they always say the same crap, like God does what he does, and he's in control, and blah, blah. Shut up. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me no more. When you ain't even trying, you don't even know my God, you don't want to know my God, you just talking this mess. Stop. Yes, God is in control. He knows everything. He knew it yesterday. He's going to know stuff tomorrow. It's going to happen next week. Yes. He doesn't have to do anything. I don't care. You need something needs to happen. He don't have to do it. He don't have to do it. And when he don't do it, he's still God. What? He's still God. He's still who he is. And then a month from now, when you find out why he didn't do what you thought he should have done, well, then you're going to feel stupid. Well, then you're going to be like, well, dang, if he didn't let me fall, this wouldn't have happened. So when I thought I was in the darkness, I was just walking through a tunnel to get to the other side where the light was, but I didn't know it. So I went into disbelief, and I didn't trust him. I didn't believe him. I was talking all this mad stuff, and I wouldn't read the Bible, and I cussed God out, and I said all this stuff. Well, now I'm looking stupid because he knew the whole time, and he fixed it, and all this really good stuff happened, and now I can't take it back because I done said all this ugly stuff. Well, dang. See, that's when you put space between you and God, and you don't talk to him because now you're looking stupid and you feel all guilty. And now what am I going to say? Because if I had just trusted him and been like, oh Lord, I know I lost my eye, but I know you just want me to see real good out of this other eye. That's how we have to be. This life is hard. It's hard, but that's okay, because he's still God. He's still watching. He's still gonna take care of you. Just hold on. Just hold on. All right, I done got all off the topic. I'm just rambling. I guess I'm tired. All right, I'm gonna close it up. I'll see you. I might even see you tomorrow if I feel like making, if I find something else to talk about, which I don't usually have a problem talking. Bye.